Hello everybody, it's Niklas and welcome to this new video on friction. And in this video on friction, we are going to see how to create gradient. So definitely this software, Friction, it is a very good software if you want to create animation. What type of animation you can create? It is 2D animation. You have very great very great features, and you have everything that you need to create 2D animation. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like the content. First link on the description, the complete course Friction is available. So if you want to learn Friction to create all your 2D animation, it is on the first link on the description. It is a complete course. Models session of the course, you will see how to process, and different also training session at the end of the course to see the different features. Second link on the description, it is a website in link with this YouTube channel. You can discover software on these YouTube channels. The big majority of the software are free or have a affordable price. And second link on the description, it is all the complete courses available depending of all this software. So we are going to start on how to add gradient on friction. The first thing that I'm going to do it is to create a shapes. I will create a rectangles here, and I will zoom a little bit on my rectangles, and then I will switch to the selection tool to have access on the properties on the right. We can click on the fill options, and on the fill option you can go on flat if you want to define any color, and if you want to create a gradient you need to switch on gradient. After to switch on gradient you can define linear or radial. I'm going to click on linear, and I will move a little bit these panels. As you can see, nothing special will happen. So how you can create a gradient, you need to go right click, new gradient. And after that, you can define 2 points. So here, if I click on this point, I can define a first color, like for example, red. And if I click on this second point, I can define another color, like for example, blue. I can do 0, 0, and 1, and I will obtain this blue color. And I created my first gradient, as you can see. You can create another gradient if you want and keep this one saved on this area. I can go right click, new gradient, and I can click here, define for example green, and I can click here and define for example yellow. And I could continue. You can also duplicate a gradient. So when you go right click, you can for example duplicate a gradient. You can duplicate this one, change the color again with other type of color, maybe this type of color like this, and I can duplicate again and change again the color, like maybe this one, and the second point, let's do something like this. So after that you will have a gradient here. So it means if I select another rectangle and I go on the fill options flat, if I switch for gradient, all your gradient will be saved on this area. So it means I can apply a gradient that I used. You can also apply a gradient on a stroke. For example, on the fill options, I can click on none. And then I will go on the stroke option, increase the size of the stroke. And if I want a gradient, I can click on gradient, and you can create a new gradient in the same way or apply an existing gradient on the stroke, just like this. So now something that I'm going to do, it is to go on the stroke none, and fill, I will define a gradient, and I can click for example on this one. Let's come back to the stroke at 0. This is how you can create gradient. Now if I click on this one and activate this, the problem is the gradient is only horizontal. So how I can move the point? You can go on the left, and when you click on your shape you have the point tool here, and with the point tool you can change the position of 2 points of your shape, but you have also the possibility to have access to the point. When you zoom here, you have 2 points. This point is the point of the shape, and this point is the point of the gradient. So sometimes you don't see that, and thanks to that, if I take here, this point is the point of the shape, and this point is the point of the gradient. And now with these tools, I can change the location of my gradient. I can create less transition or increase the transition, and if I want to work more horizontally or vertically, I can change the position. So this is how you can change the position. So now let's take a look about a radial gradient. I will delete this shape with delete on my keyboard, and I will click, I will create a circle, I will press Shift to constraint. And after to do this work, I will go on the right and I will go on the fill options gradient. So let's just remove the different gradient. Maybe I will remove this one, and remove this one. I will create a new gradient, radial. I will click on radial, right click, new gradient. I will select two colors. I will define one little bit in orange, red orange, and the second color little bit yellow and little orange like this. So maybe this one we can make something little bit darker. So to edit your gradient, it is same. You can click on these tools. This point is the center point of the circle. This point to work horizontally and vertically to scale your circle. So something that I'm going to do, it is to have these 2 points corresponding to the gradient. It's not extremely convenient sometimes because you need to edit the gradient in the same way that you edit the point on your shape. So it's not a separate tools, but it works like this. So I can take this point. As you can see, if I take this point and this point, you can see how to work with the radial position. For example, I can place this one here, extend this one, and I can create a radial gradient. So this is how to work. The last example that I'm going to show you is I would like to create a rectangle on the background and to create a gradient on the background. I will create a rectangle just like this. This rectangle I will center here. I will go on the stroke none, fill flat, and I will create a gradient. So I will switch to gradient and I will activate linear, right click, new gradient, and I will select my first point. I will define some blue color, like maybe this type of blue color, and the second point, another type of blue color, like maybe this one. I just need to change the position, so I will use my point tools. Here, if I move, it is the rectangle point, but I can find just after my gradient point. And here, if I move, this is this point, and I can find after my gradient point, and I can move, for example, to create this gradient on the backgrounds. And that's it. I created my rectangle, for example, for my animation on the backgrounds, just like this. If you go right click, you can also delete a gradient. If you delete a gradient, the shape will come back, for example, in this case, with this color. So this is how you can create a gradient. We are going to stop here for this video. If you like, subscribe to this YouTube channel. First link on the description, the complete course. Friction is available, so if you want to learn this software step by step with the course structure, it is on the first link on the description. You will see the model session of the course. Many hours of training content to learn Friction, to create all your 2D animation with a complete course step by step, starting from scratch to obtain a great level to master Friction. Second link on the description, the website in link with this YouTube channel. You can discover software on this YouTube channel. And second link on the description, it is a summary of all the graphic courses available. For our next video, see you. Ciao, ciao.